Interesting match with the number one and Lewis Roberts. Pierce Sharrett joined in the commentary box by Ultimate Pool professional Chris Day. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks buddy. You?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Getting settled in for a long weekend.
Indeed. Yes.
Where better than sunny Blackpool?
Well, yes. At least there is a bit of sunshine out there today. It's normally raining, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Just having a chat to Tom out in the arena before he went on, and he said to make sure I get all the excuses in for him. He said he's had a bad back. He said his car broke down on the way here, so he's had no sleep because he didn't get here till 4 o'clock this morning. So yeah, he wanted me to make sure everyone at home knows that when he plays bad, that's why.
Oh dear.
Lewis didn't have any excuses, so.
Well, actually, the only thing Lewis said to me was to give a shout out to his lovely wife, Trish. We miss you this weekend, Trish. Well, Tom might have to dive into the excuse book there with that one, but
yeah, not quite the cannon he wanted early doors. Has got the angle to go into it again, but no guarantee if he does that he's going to land on a ball, so he might play short position on it if he can nip it.
He's just not got that exactly the way he wanted it.
No, hasn't really developed the ball, but he is at least on another ball, so he's going to get another go. And this, if you do want to continue to attack, would be the order you want to go really. Top right to leave an angle for bottom right to get across and break the bad ball out or play on it. Needs a good kiss here though. Yeah, and I think even if he is on this ball, he's going to be fairly straight, so the best he can hope for really is leaving a double in the corner or in the middle, depending on where he can get the cue ball.
How important are these early frames to settle? You know, it's kind of another weekend, another pro series, a long weekend, lots of matches to play. Is it important, even someone like Tom Cousins, to settle into a match and to kind of get his rhythm going?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely important for both players really, because you know Lewis will be watching Tom here. When he saw the split and that Tom got a ball, he'd be thinking, you know, frame over. But the fact that Tom's having trouble with these balls, shall we say, will give Lewis a bit of heart. And if he doesn't get them, yeah, then it will play a major part. And as you can see, Tom's missed the double, and Lewis now, as any professional would be, will be thinking this frame should be mine.
Yeah, I mean, and these are the frames that Lewis is going to have to punish Tom anytime, because it's well documented. He doesn't give much away, he doesn't make many mistakes.
Yeah, correct. And it's always nice first frame to come to the table with a nice open set of balls to go at. For Lewis, again, you'd expect him to get them, but they're not absolute sitters. You know, he's got to mind his work, he's got to take them in the right order, and he just needs to be careful, and he'll have the added pressure, if you like, in his own head that he knows he should get them and he should win the frame, and he needs to lay down that early marker with Tom.
Yeah, he certainly does. A great opportunity for the cue maker.
Looks like he's picked a nice route, so he just wants to make sure he leaves himself a nice half ball angle. Not too much to do with the cue ball here, he's just, perhaps he's gone a ball further than he would have wanted. He's probably going to sort of play us a little bit of sort of stun screw, perhaps drag, and a bit of right hand side. He just wants to be straight in. That's fine. Always the danger, flirting with the middle pocket. I think he would have probably wanted to play it sort of off the top cushion and leave it in the bottom left hand corner dead straight, but left himself a bit too much angle to do that.
Bit of a sharp intake of breath there as that cue ball tracked towards the middle pocket.
Indeed.
But he's absolutely fine. And he's taking these well. As you say, he comes to the table, and as any professional would, you would think, I'm going to get these, but you've still got to get down and do them and stamp your authority.
And make it look so easy, even though there's generally work to do. And you know, when he gets in front of you at that sort of stage, the pressure's really on, because it's difficult to see a way back with his big break. It's difficult to see where your chances are going to come from to get back into it.
Yeah, it is one of those things where I think we've nearly come to expect now that when Tom breaks, he's going to win the frame, or give himself the best opportunity to win the frame.
Yep. Yep.
Speaking of breaks, Lewis has got a decent connection there, but the split's not fantastic. A couple of problems on both colour sets.
Yeah, lots of reds and yellows next to each other, which is never a great sign when you're looking for your split. But a decision to make again for Lewis, because the balls are makeable.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to develop that awkward yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, he may, I think he's got too much angle to nip back into it here from this bottom yellow. We could play the yellow sort of in the middle of the table off of the other yellow, but then it's going to leave it sort of down the rail next to the 8 ball, so it would be a sort of last ball if he did that way. If he's going to go into it, it's difficult to see a way where he goes into it and he's guaranteed to get it out well.
Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to have a look there to see. I mean, the only, I suppose, obvious ball that would be easy to leave yourself would be the one kind of in the middle of the table there, but definitely not easy.
He might be playing for it now. He might top this one through a foot or so with the cue ball, just to leave the yellow in the middle of the 3 to the bottom right and be able to screw across into it. Yeah, that's what he's thinking. Perhaps a little bit too much angle here. And again, no guarantees that he's going to be on anything, and no guarantees that the 8 ball is going to go anywhere when he's finished either.
Oh, he's made both.
He'll be happy with that if he's got a slight angle.
Facial expression says it might be a little bit straight. It looks like there's a little bit of angle from here, but
yes, unfortunately folks, we don't have the technology of the overhead camera today, so we can't show you that angle, so we're going to have to play best guess scenario. But he is jacking up, so he might feel that he can stun across, but he's played it really well.
More angle than it looked like, and he's really taken that well. And a great start, it must be said, Chris, for Lewis Roberts.
Yeah, and the one thing you would probably point out is that, you know, Tom's come to the table first visit, got himself in a little bit of trouble, but hasn't managed to get out of it. Lewis's visit has gone pretty much along the same lines really, except he's managed to find the answer, and that's probably because he's 1-0 up. But yeah, I think he had a good run up there, and things could have gone differently had he got over the line against Gillespie, I think.
Yeah, definite confidence breaker when that happens. You can almost taste victory, and going so well.
Good layout for Tom on reds. May look like he's got a bit of work to do top left, but you know, there's a plant to be played potentially, or if he moves these 2 on the right hand side, he can leave a double. And the red that's by the yellow can be played to short position or moved, so plenty of options. I'll even play the double plant now. Never a guarantee where the ball you're doubling is going to go if he does. So yeah, taking the other option and playing this one in the middle with the short position, I think.
Well controlled.
Important frame for Tom as well, if he can knock these in, which you'd think he would from here. Didn't particularly. No one wants to go 3-0 down in a race to 7. Just needs to thread the gap of the two yellows potentially on the right hand side. He's just checking to see if he can leave the white where the red is and see the red over the right centre. If he can, that would be the best option because there's not a lot to do with the cue ball. That should be fine.
Looks just about perfect from Top Cat.
Doesn't look like he's walking with the most freedom, does he? Obviously we said he had back issues over the last week or so. He does look a little bit rigid. Seems to be getting down okay on his shots.
He was maybe moving his trophy collection from one place to another, maybe. Yeah, of course, we will see Last Man Standing back again in May. Anybody that hasn't caught that, didn't see any of it, what a great event. My favourite event, I have to say, so far. I loved. Did you play in it?
I didn't, sadly, no.
You did. Well, my favourite event to watch. I just thought it was brilliant fun. You know, it gave a completely different dynamic to it. So it'll be interesting to see who qualifies and how that goes.
Yeah, I agree. Glad it's not a ranking event, but yes, it will be very interesting. Always a lot of fun. I always like the dynamics of putting a lot of egos in a room and seeing who wants to call who out.
Yeah. Yeah, we had Last Man Standing Ireland. It's our inaugural event for Ultimate Pool Ireland. We made things a little bit different, so we actually, if you want a match, you had to choose. So you had to actually call somebody out. You didn't have the option. It had to happen, and then you had to go to random generator if you won your second match. So we kind of, it added for a lot of drama. Stevie Dempsey ended up playing something like 13 matches to get to the final. He kept getting called out. He actually kept coming out of the random generator, which is funny. Yep, Last Man Standing coming up in May. There's also Players Championship qualifiers in action as well. So much pool, a stacked calendar.
Just the way we like it.
And back to this game, Tom Cousins. Another, I have to say, routine opportunity for him to tie this match up.
Yeah, again, Lewis hit the break well, as you can see by the split of the balls. But yeah, no friends. And pretty soon, going to be back to 2-2. So Tom's quickly forgotten the mistake he made. And one of the things that obviously we'll mention about Tom with his big break generally means that he will get more chances in a match than his opponent. And so far he's had 3 chances. Lewis has had 2, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, it's fine margins in this game when we play at this level. The best players in the world on show across this weekend, and indeed all our other events. You playing today yourself, Chris?
Yeah, 6 o'clock against Chippy on this table, I think.
And there it is.
Yeah.
It's just so cruel that you can hit them that well and you just don't make any.
Yeah, but again, Lewis will be coming to the table knowing that he's been frozen out the last couple of frames, and that he's got a presentable opportunity, a little bit of work to do potentially with the reds if he's going to go that way, just because he needs to potentially move the 8 ball.
He's got a good breaker ball beside it.
Yeah, reds is his choice.
He's a lot closer to the cushion than he's The cue ball that he wanted to be.
Yeah, he could have made a very small argument for yellows, potentially, if you can get the cue ball behind the 8 ball for this yellow on the bottom rail and leave that to your last ball. Reds is away, so depends. I don't think the 8 ball goes past the yellow. If it does, then obviously it's a much better chance than it looks at the moment, because you can just play the bottom 3 in a sort of, you know, left, right, middle scenario.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it from our camera angle, but again, these cameras are very good at making us look very silly.
Yeah. I presume his plan is to come down, leave these 2 reds at the bottom as his last balls, play the one further towards the right in the right hand side pocket. Might not be able to do that now though. Then I was going to say play the one in the left and then leave the 8 ball to the far side. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to get there now though.
Yeah, Lewis will be able to see better than anyone whether that 8 ball goes. But with every red that he takes off the table, if he does have to go into it, well, he's got no choice now.
Yeah. Tough. I think he's going to have to try and top through and sort of hit the 8 ball fairly full in the face, so it comes on and off the cushion and out into the middle of the table, with a cue ball drifts over probably towards that pocket, which leaves him sort of half ball. Oh, he's playing it off the yellow, is he?
That's a good shot. Great shot from Lewis Roberts. Again, camera's a bit deceptive. It looked like the yellow was too far away from the pocket for that shot from where we were looking.
Yeah, didn't look like an option at all.
We saw Pro Event 1 champion John McAllister in action. He got his Event 3 off to a winning start against Cormac Kerr.
Again, no friends for Lewis.
It looked like he took a little bit off that.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, can't say he's hitting badly. The balls have split sort of, you know, all around the table. Again, not the best of splits, but yeah, you wouldn't have begrudged him a ball from that.
Red's the choice for top cat.
Yeah, presuming this red goes bottom left, you can potentially play that and nudge into the yellow above the 8 if he wants to, or
Yes.
even leave these 2 down here for his last balls if he wants to get on this difficult one top left.
I think he was playing to get on that red that you were talking about, and I think the body language was kind of saying that he wasn't on it, but he's tried to play another developing shot there, and he's made things worse.
Yeah, the trouble is, I mean, I think he can play bottom right now, leave an angle on the red to the bottom left to then potentially screw up into the ball he's just tried to move, but then it would be difficult to get back onto the 8 ball.
Yeah, the 8 ball's not very accessible.
Does look like it might sneak into the left centre, so not impossible to get there.
Oh, where's the cue ball? Oh, another careless one from Tom Cousins. And with ball in hand, Lewis Roberts can give himself, well, he can pick his angle really to try to develop this bad yellow.
Yeah. I mean, it depends how aggressive people want to be. You can leave this angle here, nudge into the yellow, and then obviously the yellows potentially are at his mercy, but it depends, because he's not guaranteed to, one, get this out, and to two, land nicely on another ball. So I'd be making an argument here for the loss of turn shot. The yellow on the right hand side, put the red in the right centre, and leave the cue ball bottom left of the table.
Yeah.
Just because playing the shot he has, he's put himself under pressure here, because now all the reds go, the 8 ball's out, so he's now in a position where he has to get them. And he's not left himself the best, I don't think.
I think if he did want to break it out and he wanted to be, oh, it's a good pot.
Brilliant shot. Yeah, brilliant. One thing putting yourself in that position, it's another thing having the technique to get out of it, and now you would say the frame's at his mercy.
Yeah, we talked about earlier on Lewis's technique and his action. Yeah, they're the types of shots where it really, it's a major weapon to him. That he lands a little bit hampered, but he knows he's going to be rock solid and there's no movement.
Yeah. Looks like he's leaving the ball at the top of the table as his last ball. I think I might have left the yellow he's just played in the centre as my last ball and gone up for this one a bit earlier. Just simply because you're not guaranteed to be able to leave the angle you want. One, to get up there, and two, to get down for the 8. A lot of mileage for the cue ball here.
It's really well controlled.
Yeah, he's played it really nicely. He's played really well so far, you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, he's had 4 open visits to the table, and this 8 ball for a 4 frames to 2 lead. Yeah, this is where we need to see, from Tom's point of view, the big break needs to start working. And this is the big problem with Tom's big break, because he splits them well.
It didn't look like he'd made a ball, did he?
Yeah.
One of the reds did sneak in.
Caught me out again, made me look foolish.
And these yellows do look nice this time. Definitely one where you'd rather be at the table. Does look like the 2 yellows top left. The lower of the 2 does go past the other one, so doesn't matter if it doesn't, because Tom can play this one in the bottom left corner as he is, then drop the one in the middle, then go top left, and then he's got the other yellow in the right centre to come down the table if he wants to. Yeah, just wants to make sure he leaves himself slightly off angle, a little bit high on this yellow, so he can drift down. Just needs to be mindful of the angle he does leave, because he doesn't want to leave an angle where he's going into the red on the left hand side. That looks nice. It looks like the cue ball's coming into the middle of the table. question is asked of Tom, and he's come up with the answer again. So it's going to be back to Lewis's break to see if he can pop himself back 2 frames in front.
Yeah, Lewis will definitely be thinking, can't shake this guy off. Hasn't he hit those well?
Yeah, again, looked like he played sort of a stun shot, didn't it? A bit more about timing than actual speed through the cue ball. So yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like he's checked this red and then yellow at the bottom of the table, and he's happy the red goes, so he's going to break out the red and the 8 ball.
Yeah, he got too full of contact.
Yeah, might just die the cue ball in behind the 8 ball here off the red if it's not touching the cushion, or may carry on and just leave it as a double, or try and break it out again. He's got options. Does look like he's feeling in a nice aggressive mood today.
Yeah, what a shot. Yeah.
Great shot.
There was no ducking in behind the 8 ball
Nope.
for Lewis on this occasion. And why would you when you can play a really nice controlled shot like that?
Slightly off angle now. Would have preferred to have been plumb straight on this red to the right centre. So if you leave the cue ball where the red is, and he drops the next red in sort of bottom left, and he's got the last red bottom right. So he needs to decide whether he just wants to take his medicine and drop it in, or whether he wants to play a positional shot here.
Trust to his cueing ability.
Yeah, he's actually managed to stay a lot closer to that than it looked like he could. And can make whatever angle he wants here, with the yellow being so close to the pocket as well. He can put it straight or use the yellow if he wishes, as he has, just to get a little bit low on the red so he can stun up for the 8 ball.
And once again, the cue maker finds himself 2 frames in front.
Have a much better demeanour around the table now, and there's so many players out there on the Pro Series who could be so dangerous if they got a win under their belt.
Yeah.
Luke's going to ride that wave now for a little while, you feel?
Confidence breeds confidence, isn't that what they say?
Exactly.
Nothing like keeping you confident when you can break like that. I kind of feel like a broken record sometimes talking about the Tom Cousins break, but
yep, they do come out nice when he's hitting them well.
such presentable opportunities. It's a funny match because they've been going along at a kind of relative pace, but they're just kind of doing the, you know, the basic stuff to a really, really high standard.
Yep. Yeah, a couple of mistakes on Tom's side, obviously, where he's ran out of position. I think the first visit Lewis had, he ran out of position and got himself out of trouble, didn't he? But other than that, everything they've done has been, you know, pretty much as they'd wanted to do it. So they'll both be fairly happy with the way they're playing. They'll both think, you know, if they get a chance, they're going to take it, and that's sort of what you want going into the final few frames.
Yeah, there was a couple of mistakes from Tom. The only thing that separates these two players.
Just needs to decide how he wants to get on this ball. Just underneath the one he's now playing. Screw past it potentially. Yeah, that's fine. He'd ideally like to get the cue ball back to where it is for his last ball at the bottom of the table, just to connect to the 8 ball. So I'm not sure whether we can sort of die this one in with enough drag and left hand side to pull it and get the cue ball back there, or whether he's going to have to impart a little bit of topspin and potentially go twice across.
He's a little bit hampered. I think that's what's kind of dictating that he's going to go twice across.
Yeah, and that looks fine. He looks straight enough, I think, to just push this in.
Another break and finish.
Screwing the white ball back, or stunning the cue ball like Lewis is. And I wasn't quite sure which one was working the best, to be honest. That was happening a lot.
And just when we say Tom doesn't want to hear the sound of any balls hit the pockets,
Yeah,
he's got it.
look at these cherries.
Yeah. I don't even think we can build any excitement with this, Chris. It's
No, not really. Nope. Lewis will be sat in his chair now, pretty much just hoping that Tom's next break is dry. I'm sure he probably would have written this one off in his head as soon as he saw the layout.
yeah, and this will be a real test for Lewis, really, because when you look at it, for all intents and purposes, it looks like it's going to be 5 frames apiece, and Lewis, really, bar dry breaks, hasn't made any mistakes.
No, again, it's just the fact that Tom's had more chances. I think this is Tom's 7th or maybe even 8th chance at the table now, and Lewis has had 5 chances from what I can remember and taken 5.
Yeah, this is when the mental fortitude of this game comes in. You've got to stay strong, got to stay resilient.
Not even take the one in the middle of the table now, potentially. If it goes in that left centre, he'll leave it. Yeah, again, nicely done from TC. Looks like he's going to level up the match. And potting off the break as well.
Yeah.
And if he can get through to this yellow in the right centre, which I think he can by that little glance, he's now mapping out the rest of the yellows. So yeah, bad news for Lewis again, unfortunately.
Yeah, Lewis Roberts will be fearing the worst for this frame.
Extension call.
Has got a little bit of work to do with his pattern with these yellows, but nothing that TC won't be able to negotiate. He hasn't got to break any balls out or trust to any luck. He's just got to, again, mind his work, pick his route, make sure he's leaving the cue ball where he needs to, and yeah, again, he should be out.
Yeah, it's a classic example of pattern play. Really picking your order for your balls, make it as easy and simple to connect everything. It's such a big part of why you guys were pros, you know, being able to, you know, not only actually action the shots and take it out, but being able to use your brain and make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing about it as well, I think, is you have to pick a pattern that suits your game. So, you know, Tom plays a lot of stun shots, you know, a lot of little delicate cannons that he controls really well. You know, and they're if you give 10 professional pool players the same layout, you're going to get quite a few different patterns, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Depending on what shots they like and what shots they don't like.
Yeah, I'll never forget growing up. Obviously, Ronan was the big kind of name. But I remember the first time I ever met him was in a pub, and I walked in and I didn't actually know who. I'd heard of him, but I didn't know who he was. And I remember watching this guy, and me as a junior thinking I'm a hot shot, you know, watching this guy, and I didn't actually think he was that good.
No.
But before I knew it, he'd won 10, 15, 20 frames on the spin, and I was like, hold on a minute.
That's the thing with watching someone like Ronan. You know, if you watched him play down a pub and you didn't know who he was, you know, you'd look at his cue action, you'd say, right, well, that's, you know, there's nothing technically perfect about that. No one's going to teach that. You know, he's but the thing about him is, when Ronan is at his pomp, you never ever ever see him play a difficult shot.
Yeah.
Because he makes everything look so easy and leaves himself natural angles and plumb position, and he's never got to play anything with side, you know.
And it's funny because to the lay person, you know, they probably watch Snelling and Chippy and these kind of guys that do, you know, they play the game a little bit more flamboyantly, and you know, it's tremendous to watch. But to the lay person, they will be the ones who say, "Oh, they are the, you know, the elite, the creme de la creme." And you maybe watch someone like Ronan, and it's you know, oh, he's an average player, and then before you know it, you know, he's run away, and he's obviously one of the best players of all time.
Yeah, that's what made someone like Mick Hill so good. And I think, you know, he'll be hitting these harder. Yeah.
Yeah, definite change. But the same result.
Yeah. Easily done.
You saw a shake of the head from Cole Bedford in the back there.
Yeah. And again, the yellows look nice for Tom.
Yeah, Lewis certainly going to fear for this match. I mean, if Tom does go on to take these out, can you take positives from Lewis's performance? Yeah, I know he's lost, but or potentially lost, but you know, is it one of these things where you can think going into event 4, you know, I didn't do anything wrong, played the best player in the world, you know, and I've run him close. Can you pick positives out of it?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I can only speak from my point of view, obviously, because it's difficult to second guess what's going on in anyone else's head. But yeah, from my point of view, I've played a lot of sets with Tom in practice, and you know, if I've been on the wrong end of them, but taken every chance I can, for me, I've looked at it as a good set because I've done nothing wrong. I've taken, you know, every single opportunity that's come my way. If the score's 7-5 to Dom, so be it. I couldn't do any more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you can take positives from it, but again, it's difficult because he's going to have another day and a half probably to wait before he plays again. And you know, pool's a fickle game. It could be that the next time he plays a match, every single break from him and his opponent are coming out with trouble everywhere, rather than nice chances like have been generally in this match.
Yeah. Seen a very high percentage of first visit frames.
Just left himself a little bit off straight, potentially the wrong way here, because it is tricky to judge the cue ball off these bottom cushions. Tom's played that really, really well. The only reason I say they're difficult to judge is because if you do play them, as most people naturally would, with sort of top spin to narrow the angle of the cue ball off the cushion, it will trap under the cushion and would have only come sort of halfway up the table as it has. So Tom's played it, as he's learnt on these tables too over the last few years and months, as more of a sort of stun shot. And he's in good position here. He probably wouldn't have wanted to leave this yellow at the top of the table as his last ball when he saw the clearance in his head before he started. But if he can get the cue ball to sort of the top rail, it is a natural angle just to come off the side cushion and land plumb on the 8. Yeah, just like that. So the only thing he really needs to guard against here is just making sure that he doesn't leave himself Chinese snookered on the reds.
Yeah, really well taken from Top Cat in this 8 ball to get himself settled and winning the board. Couple of little mistakes there, Chris, from Tom. 0 from Lewis, but it is ultimately the number 1 that goes through to the next round.